So today we're going to build out our membership automations, and I'm going to kind of cover memberships a little lightly because we've already gone over this in one of the previous lessons, but I want to make sure I cover the automations piece of it a little separately. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the left-hand side and I'm going to go to our membership area. So I'm going to go to sites, I'm going to go to memberships, and in here, before we even dive into the members area, I want to make sure you fully understand inside of this system, they are completely separate. It's like almost a separate little universe in there. So when you go in there, when you're looking at products, this is your courses. When you're looking at offers, it's the way you bundle your products to sell. And what I mean by products in this particular case is the actual course. So offers bundle these courses so you can sell them either in groups or by themselves. And that's what I kind of want to cover first. So for instance, if I go into products and I think of the way products are, these are all the different courses. All these products are courses. I come in here and if you see, I already have a course built out and it's all published. That's super important because you cannot put an offer to a product unless it's already been published. Now that this has been published and the course is built out, what I want to do is I want to go to offers and I want to give this particular course product an offer. All right. Now, again, a little confusing there. Think about what I said. I want to give this product inside of here, they're called products, but it's actually a course. So I want to give this course an offer. So in this particular case, for that particular course, I come in here. All right, and all I have to do is create an offer, title the offer, my first course. Okay, and inside of here, I select the product that it is. I can put a price to it. All right, and I can go ahead and create. All right, I have 127 offers created, but notice that I come in here. Inside this window, you can give a little bit more of a description. You want to give it a nickname, and you want to make sure you put into publish. If this particular course has more than one particular product, meaning it's got multiple courses in there, what you want to do is add another course. So for instance, maybe this has the membership method and the swipe files, again, make-believe courses. And now this is a bundled course that I'm going to sell, all right, for 127. You want to add a little bit of a thumbnail over on the right-hand side, but this basically now has the offer. And now the most important part is, and where we see a lot of people's mistakes is they don't go from draft to published. So you want to make sure you go from draft to published. Now that this is done, what we're going to do is we're going to come back, we're going to hit save up on top, and now my course is ready to go out into the universe. Now, I'm not going to go into a purchase automation because those have already been covered in our workflow lesson, but what I want to make sure we do is talk about where we are as far as in the process of how the automations are going to work. Now, if I sell a product, whatever that product might be, make believe it's my Facebook ads course, make believe it's my automations course. I have a flow that when somebody purchases something, you know, from a funnel, an order form inside the funnel, and they come in here and they purchase it, I remove them, I do all these crazy things, I tag them, all this other more important stuff, I send them a welcome email, but the most important thing is this membership grants offer. This is where I grant them that offer I just created because they purchased. And then when they create that offer, as you can see, I have the first course. And if I hit save action, it now grants that offer to that person. Now, very important. If you're doing it this way, this grants the offer and people will get the offer, you know, inside. They're just going to be able to access it if they use their username and password. But the part that needs to happen now that you have to create is that you have to create the automation to deliver the password. Now, natively, inside of your membership area, if you go to memberships, remember, we're going to go to sites, go to memberships, and you go to settings. Inside of settings, they already have an email that sends the password out. Problem is with this current software now, at least for now, is if I already was a member, make believe I've already bought one of your courses, or I got access to your school, you remember your whole entire membership area at some point, it's not going to send that email again because I've already received that first initial password and email. So in our experience, that's created a problem because then we got people that say they never received the email sequence that gave them the password and the username. So what we ended up doing is we created our own membership automation to ensure that not only the current members, meaning the people that already have other courses or they're already inside your members area, receive the automation, but we also have somebody that is brand new, we also want them to get their username and password. So we have, as far as this video is recorded as of now, they don't have a way to send to the current members. So what we had to do is we've turned this off and hit save. So obviously this comes on as on, and you have a template that you can leverage and use. I will turn this off, hit save. And what I will do is I now go in and I create my own membership automation because I want to send this a little bit differently. We're going to create these automations from scratch, and I'm going to walk you kind of through it, the way we have to do it in order for it to send to somebody that was already a member that just bought a secondary course, or a brand new member. So the first thing we're going to do, and again, you would want to do it in all in one. We already have these built out in the SLO. As you can see, this is number 8, and then we have number 8A, which basically gives them the entire automation in order, for new and existing. But we're going to build it from scratch just to make it super clear. So create a folder. Okay, now that that's there, what we're going to do is we're going to hit save, and we're going to go ahead and go inside that folder, and we're going to create a new workflow. Now, the first workflow I'm going to create is the one that is going to send out to new members. And just follow along. I'm going to try to explain this. It gets a little confusing, but just try to stick with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from scratch, hit create, and then come over here, and I'm just going to label it right over here. We'll call this the membership method, new membership username and password, right? And we'll put a number to it as 1 for now. And then we're going to come in here and create. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and the first thing I'm going to do is look for membership. Now, remember, we're working on the new member. We're not working on the current member. Remember, the current member is the person that's already has it. So I'm going to go ahead and add filters. And the first thing is I'm looking for the offer, right? What's the offer that I granted? Now, remember, when somebody purchased, what I granted them was the first course. So the offer has to match this particular program that's going to go on, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, the cool part about it is if you have just a generic kind of welcome email to the membership course that you want to serve for everybody, you can keep adding these in here. So I can keep adding this one. It doesn't really matter which one it is. So I'll offer both here. This is let's say the membership method, which is another course, and I can have multiple. I would actually label these. So this I'll label the save trigger. I'm going to come over to the other one, and this is going to be PMM, which is the membership method. And I can just keep adding different memberships. Again, if I'm going to have a very standard delivery of a particular email that's just going to deliver a password, which I recommend, is do you really need to be super specific? I don't think you do. And it's just a really good way for you to do that, right? So I'm going to come in here. Now, this is where it gets tricky. All right. Now, again, this is just because it's limitations of the software. It just kind of go with it and just trust us. We tried multiple different ways. And after 3 years, this is the one that works the best. What we're going to do is we're going to create basically almost like a temp tag. So if I come over here, this is going to be new member. And the reason we're doing this is because I want to make sure that if they're coming in and they're a new member, that they get tagged and the system doesn't get confused. So I tag this, but then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait 3 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to put in a wait. All it is a wait for 3 minutes, because what I want it to do is I want the system in the back end to test whether or not this person's already in the system. All right, and I'll go over that, why this is important in a second. Just try to follow along as best as you can. So I'm going to wait 3 minutes, and then I'm going to send that generic email, send in the username and password, and I'm going to Control A and Control V here. Okay, and it just basically reads, right, hey, contact first name, save this email for later. Here are login details. Contact email is going to be the email of the person. Super easy. And the way you fill this in is custom values, contact, email. Then over here, the password, because we're using this membership new sign up, it will allow us to pull in the value of the password. This is the only time you can pull in that value. So I come in here, and under password, I'm going to highlight this right here, custom values, membership, contact, and notice I have password, and it automatically fills in the password. Then the membership site login, you can set this as a custom value, meaning a custom value is a preset value. But if you're like, I don't know what that is, come over here, duplicate this tab, and let's find out what the membership URL is. Now, the membership URL is really easy. You're going to come into sites, you're going to come into memberships, you're going to go into settings, and if you follow the videos previously, you notice that you already have a custom domain that you filled in. Now I'm going to grab that custom domain, hit copy, and then when I do that, I can either hard code it in here. All right, the only thing I do is I add an HTTPS to make it secure, and I put a little slash, and if you want to really make it fancy, highlight it, hit the little chain link right here, copy this URL, right? Take it out of here and put it into where it says URL, and then from here is membership area, okay? And now you got a clickable link. We always want to make sure we have a new window. We hit save. Really super easy, but this is the way to do it. And we add some language that says if you're seeing a blank space where your username and password are supposed to be, this means you already have an account with us. Please go to the membership login URL and log in with your existing credentials. We add our user signature. Please make sure to save this information, bookmark the page for easy access. Any future courses you buy will use the same credentials. So we're already trying to train them to make sure that they go there. But in order for us fail safe, we also want to make sure we create that current member one, which we're going to do next. All right. And then what we're going to do is once we're done here, we're going to give it a subject line. And I like to keep it very generic, which is boom, your login details. And again, as we know, we're going to use username. Okay. Username should be first name, or you can use full name. It's up to you. This is user members, you, not them. It's you. Because we want to say it's coming from us, right? So we're going to go to user, email, and we have these two, all right? And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now, the reason we don't assign a user to this particular part, because we've already done it in the purchase automation. Remember, the only way they're going to get access and this thing's going to fire is if they get that grant offer in the previous purchase workflow. Now that this is done, you have that temporary tag, you have the wait 3 minutes, you have deliverability, but then we're also going to remove that temporary tag we created. Now, super important, and I got to make sure I stress this. Whatever tag you use here, you need to make sure it copies here. This tag is relatively important because if not, they're going to get both automations and this is not going to work the way it needs to. And again, I'll explain a little bit more when we move to part 2 of this. So I'm going to come over here. I know it's new membership temp tag. So I'm going to come over here under remove contact tag. And here I'm going to put membership temp tag. Okay. And it removes it. All right. Now, again, the reason we have this temporary tag is we need to differentiate the people from them being current, and we need to differentiate them if they're already, if they're just a new member. In this particular case, this temp tag will serve to allow the other automation we're about to build to check for this. And if it has this temp tag because it came from here, then it will fire this automation. If it does not, then it will fire the auto automation, and I'm going to show you what I mean. A little confusing, but just bear with me. This is the way to design it at this moment in time inside the system. All right, so our temp tags are done, and even you can do, instead of having it specific to a course, you can have it for all new membership and username and password. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. I'm going to come in here and hit publish. We're ready to rock and roll, right? So now we can actually take this, duplicate it, call it 1A, and now we're going to change, instead of saying new member, this is going to be current member. All right, inside of current member, we're going to come over here, we're going to delete this, we're going to hit create. All right, and in here, this one is going to look a little different. In here, this, because we have to check whether or not they're a current member. So instead of having membership new sign up, what we're looking for this time around is offer. Because it is not a new member. It's just when somebody got granted an offer and they were already existing. Here, we have to make sure that the offer is the first course, because that's the first one we did. And let's label it the first course. All right. And this is primarily the first difference, right? Because remember, the other one, instead of saying it said new membership sign up, this one is offer granted. Now, the system will know if the person's a new member, and the system will know if you're just granting an existing member an offer. So what we're going to do is, if they are an offer granted person, they're going to get, meaning they're a current member, we're looking for offer granted. It's going to be the thing that fires. If they're a new member, they're going to have this one fire. So this one will now change to also offer. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, and we're looking for offer. Offer access granted. Come over here. offer. And again, this one is the membership method. And as you can see, these are two different, instead of being new, they're doing offer. And again, this is to check whether or not they're already existing in our system, and the system will know the difference. And that's why we're building one for new, one for current. And current, think of current has the offer granted, think of new as the new membership sign up. Okay, and that's why we're building two workflows. Now here, we want to actually wait only a minute. Okay, this is going to be 1 minute, because we want to make sure that if they are a new member, the other one checks this one, and if this one checks out that they already don't have they're not a current member, they don't have these tags or anything else, then it will fire. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. It's going to be 1 minute, and then here I don't check for a tag. Okay, because I don't give it a tag because it's already there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to check for that temp tag. Remember, now if I type in if else, I come over here, and what I want to do is check for new member tag. Okay, and the way we label it, if the tag, contact details, tag does not include, remember the new membership temp tag, that's the one we created. Again, this is super important because we got to make sure it matches, right? Check for new member tag. If it does not include this, we will then in turn wait 2 minutes. Okay, we're going to change that to 2 minutes. And then what we'll do is, instead of sending that email saying you're a new member, our email now changes to say, hey, you're already a member. And let's read it, right? Let's read it together. This one is, hey, contact name. If it seems that you already have access to our members area, important, save this email for later. Here are your login details. Username, contact mail, your membership site. Remember, you can copy it or hard code it or put a custom value there. And it says for your password, just use your current one. If you've forgotten it, please use the password reset button in the main login screen at the link above. And it automatically will change their password, okay? And we don't need to remove a tag, because if we did this right, they never got they will never get a tag in this situation. All right, and then the last thing we want to do is just remove them from the workflow. Has a safety, remove from workflow. All right, and if they did have the tag, we definitely don't want them running it because they're a new member. Remember, this is just checking to see if they're a new member or not. If they are a new member, then it stops this one based on this little condition that we wrote here. It checks it that they don't have for the new member tag. If it's true, then it sends them down here because they say, hey, you're ready to rock and roll. You need to go here. And that's the way to go. And I'll cover this all again very slowly because again, it's a little confusing, but it's kind of unfortunately the way it has it right now. And we'll go through. Actually, let's say does not have new member. Okay, and that's what we're gonna do. All right, that makes it a little less confusing. All right, let's kind of cover again what we have. All right, and I'm gonna go over both so you kind of get it because this is again a little bit confusing. So I'm gonna come over here in the new course. The starting trigger is new membership sign up. New. I want to make sure I'm clear. And what we do is we give them a tag of a new membership tag so the system knows that, hey, don't run any other automations because this person is brand new because it fired off on a new trigger, not the old. Okay? We wait 3 minutes, we email, and then we remove that new temp tag because this one's set for 3 minutes. The other one is set for 1 minute because we want that to check against this to ensure that that one doesn't fire. This is why the wait is after the current tag, not before it. So then in here, you're gonna notice a little bit of a different build. Notice here, it's offer access granted, not new membership sign up, because now this is saying, okay, if they were a new member, that new member one won't fire, only the offer access granted will. And then what it does is it waits 1 minute because if it's a new member, that thing is firing and they're getting the new member tag. This is why after 1 minute, we check to see if they have the new member tag that we haven't, that we put in here. And if they don't have the tag, then they're like, okay, if you don't have that new member tag, then guess what? That means you're a current member. Awesome. So let me put you through this automation. And that's the way that this will work. And if they do have it, then it stops it and it lets the other one run. So a little bit confusing, but this is how you create them from both. And again, you can make it very generic so all your courses run off of these membership areas, but this is the best way to do it. And again, as this gets better and better over time, you will be able to not worry about having this kind of workaround. But this is the best way, especially if people that are current members or you have multiple courses, you have to run this. If you don't have multiple courses and you only have one course, you could just use a standard automation. Remember that little on and off switch that we set at the beginning? You would just have to do that instead. So hopefully this helps, and we'll see you on the next one.